Finally settling back in at the crib, man, and something popped up on my timeline this morning. Couldn't get to it. But now I can get to it, tell y'all my thoughts on it. But ESPN has suggested another trade for the Atlanta Falcons. One that's very interesting. One, because of the talent that this young man has. Two, he's still young in the NFL. And three, it's a need for the Falcons still. Let's talk about it right quick. Now let's get into Keon Coleman right quick. Former second round pick of the Buffalo Bills. Now, coming out of Florida State, the league thought he was a solidified number one target prospect. 6'4", 215, solid speed, good hands, solid route running, contested catches. He does it all. And the crazy thing about it, I don't understand why Josh Allen hadn't got the best out of him, man, because Brandon being the GM, he picked him personally for Josh Allen. Just hadn't, jumped on board with it yet. I don't know why. The numbers haven't been there. Last year, 38 catches for 400 yards. And let me tell y'all, Brandon Beane has come out publicly and said he doesn't want to trade Keon Coleman. Because the thing about it, people just hate to be wrong. He's come out and said, it's lip service. We're excited about Keon. And Bills reporter Elena Gatzenberg got that quote. And let me tell you, if they trade him post June 1st, which is coming up soon, a couple of days, it'll create 1.7 in cap space and 2.2 next year in 2027. So the money is not the problem. It's the production. But let's look at right quick why he thinks this deal makes sense. Here's the trade that he wants. He said the Bills would get a 2027 fourth-round pick. The Falcons would get Keon Coleman and a 2028 sixth-round pick. So the good thing about this is one of those things that if it doesn't work out, they get compensation in return. Now, he's in his third season. He has one more year left on his deal. And it's pretty much not as much as guys like Drake, who in his fifth-year option, fourth-year option, it was nowhere near. But it won't be much. And here's why he said it makes sense. Falcons are a logical fit because of what they are as a team, starting over at head coach and GM, with long-term uncertainty at quarterback, and that's true to a certain extent. But they are working to solidify their position, and I'm glad they brought in so many quarterbacks. You had Mike Penix, you bring in Tua Tagovailoa, you bring in Trevor Siemian, you bring in Jack Strand as an undrafted free agent. And I get it. And for some reason, I think either Penix is going to resurge as quarterback, take over as number one. Tua could start the season as number one. But future and long term, if they hit on Jack Strand, they hit the jackpot. Because he's an undrafted free agent. Remember when Brock Purdy came in as an undrafted free agent with San Francisco a couple of years ago and just blew the top off the world? And, he's still, to me, growing as an NFL quarterback, but he's still making plays. If Jack Strand can get into that type of mindset and get into that type of development phase, the Falcons hit a home run. Why? Because they can keep building around the team without having to pay a lot of money for a quarterback. Now, eventually they will have to pay him. But if they can do that like in the first 3 years and build this team as a nice team, and when that quarterback has hit their stride and depends to take over at that time, the Falcons are an easy playoff team. They're a playoff team right now. But we're possibly talking about a Super Bowl team. Remember, the 49ers made it to the Super Bowl with Brock Purdy, I think, second year. So it could happen. But it also says they can afford to take a shot on Coleman's upside, and he would immediately add value to a receiver room that doesn't feature much after Drake, Olamide Zaccheaus, Jahan Dotson, and third-round pick Zachariah Branch. If Coleman breaks out in year 3, the Falcons will have him under contract next year too. And that's the thing. I think this would be a home run for the Falcons. And if I'm thinking about it correctly, You look at a guy 6'4", 215, and Drake is about the same height and about the same weight. You have two twin towers at receivers. Remember, I've told y'all before, doing these draft prospects and things of that nature. You have a Roddy White Julio type situation. No, not with athletic size, but with the size advantage. Then you have a 6'6" tight end in Kyle Pitts. You have a gadget guy in Zachariah Branch, who you had in Taylor Gabriel in the past. And knowing Matt Ryan, like I said, he's going back to those days where he was comfortable as a quarterback. He knows what it takes for his quarterbacks to be comfortable. You got to get him bigger receivers. You got to get him targets. And what better way to do that than to bring in another big receiver, big body receiver that can make contested catches, that can, to me, be a solidified red zone threat. And we've talked about this in the past. And sixth-round pick in return, and Keon Coleman, insurance on top of that fourth-round pick. I think Ian Cunningham would do it because he would only be swapping picks, but you get Keon Coleman in a rookie contract in return. So who says no to that? It just only makes sense. So Keon Coleman to the Falcons from the Buffalo Bills. ESPN predicts this, and I absolutely love it. I think it's a great idea. But what do y'all think, man? Drop them comments in the comment box. Let's debate. Let's have fun as always, man. Y'all know how we do it on Sports Machine. This your boy Antoine Smith signing off. I will holler at y'all soon, man. Peace.